Good evening, afternoon. Hello, Chuck Van here. We have another live stream happening as we speak. Who's there? What are we doing? What are we up to today? I know Adam's here. Adventurer Carlo was here before. I think it's just you and me, Adam, at this point. And I can see that you're going to do some yard work later. That's kind of cool. You know what? That reminds me of a funny story because, well, it's not really a story, but just a thing that happens. I despise yard work, and I never realized this before I got a property that has a pretty significantly large yard with lots of grass and trees. Fortunately, I live right next door to a lawn and garden maintenance company. So a guy who has a crew of people, one of the bigger ones in the area actually. And I ended up striking a deal with him that he gets to do my yards, so take care of my grass and every now and then trimming my trees back, and I get to not have to do my lawn, but I also have to put up with him parking one of his trucks like partly on my side of the boundary, so and on top, and killing some of my grass in the process, which is not ideal. When I first moved into the place, I was an absolute grass fiend. I was all about the grass, and now I don't care so much. Hey Rob, got Robert Fowler in the chat. He's complimenting me on my bucket hat, Adam's saying that's a fair deal. I know. I went for maybe the first year of just every week, sometimes more than once a week in the summer when the grass was going nuts. Although last year when we had the drought, literally my grass didn't grow for like a whole year. It didn't even have to be mowed, which was crazy. And actually it was starting to die. There was parts of it where it was patchy and like going back to dirt in that drought, and it was crazy. And that's when we had all the bushfires, but it's been super moist ever since. So I haven't had a problem. One day I was just, actually the neighbor approached me. He said, we haven't got anywhere to park this truck, and we used to like park it before I moved in. Used to park it in this weird driveway that's not a driveway, but it's on my property. He says, hey, if you don't mind me parking a truck there, then I'll just take care of your lawns. I'll just get on the zero turn and just do it. So I was like, okay, stoked. So this bucket hat. This is my and actually some the Americans, if there's any in the chat, might get confused, but this is actually a Canberra Raiders rugby league NRL bucket hat that I've had for many years. In fact, I just dug it out before, and it was like it's been in the shed and covered in dust. I used to wear this, strangely enough, while I was doing my lawns. I love the colour. Why does Chuck support the Canberra Raiders? That's a whole other story. That's actually a very short story. But we've got Adam Searles in the chat. Hey Adam, we've got the dual Adams happening in the chat, and I love when that happens. We've got Adam Searles from Waterloo, Canada. Is that Ontario? I'm not familiar with the provinces of Canada so much. And Adam says, what's up everyone? Saturday Night Live with musical guest men at work and the host Chuck Van. I don't know, what is that a reference to? Musical guest men at work. Men at Work. That's an Aussie band, I'm pretty sure. I like Men at Work. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Van. Adam Bad Riders asked me is questioning that I don't go for the Knights. You would be surprised how many Novocastrians or people from Newcastle do not go for the Knights. In fact, really dislike them. They are I guess they're my second favourite team, and I like to see them win. But in recent years, they haven't won very much at all. They've been doing terribly. But no, I've always been a Raiders supporter. And that's really simply down to the fact that I have spent a fair bit of time in Canberra. I never technically lived there, but I used to work there and be there all the time. And I at least once a month I'd be down there for a good stretch of time. You have to go through Canberra on the way to the snow, but more simply, the reason why I go for the Raiders is because when I was a kid and I was 5 and I used to watch football with my dad, and football being rugby league in New South Wales is what we call it. But in any case, green has always been my favourite colour. And the Canberra Raiders are the green team. And when I was 5, I was like, I like the green ones, Dad. And he was like, okay. That's how I ended up becoming a Raiders fan. And I know not to be confused with the NFL team, the Oakland Raiders, which I know is very popular as well, but not the same team. Adam saying hi to the A-team. I assume that we collectively, as the Chuck Van crew, well, you guys aren't my crew. I guess you are in a way. I don't know. You're on my chat. So collectively, we are the A-team. I can get behind that message. Bad Rider saying that I got name dropped in my absence on Elle's live stream. Oh, hang on. Is he talking to me? Because I was in that live stream. Oh, yeah. Now I get it. So no, he's Adam Bad Riders is talking to Adam Searles. And yes, Adam, you did get name dropped. I can't remember who said that. It might have actually been, I think this is a vicious rumor being circulated by Adam Bad Riders, perhaps. But there was talk of a combined trip with myself, with Jose, with Elliot, all going to Big Snow in New Jersey, and meeting up with you and all shredding together, which I'd be down for that for sure. Rob Fowler wants to know if there's any correlation between the bucket hat and the bindings. Yes, there is, sort of. And the bindings actually, in fact, be right back. And I also realised that I need to plug my phone in, otherwise the stream might cut out mid-sequence. But yeah, so probably not the same shade, but I'd already decided that I wanted Union Stratas before I saw that this colour scheme was a thing. Just so it wasn't, the decision wasn't completely predicated on those on the colour scheme, but when I did see that last year's version of this binding came in this colour, it was pretty hard to not link those two things together, and pretty hard to control the hype of me wanting to buy them at that point. So I did hold off, actually, uncharacteristically. Usually I'm the kind of guy who, if I see something that I like, then it's not long before I've pulled the trigger and made the purchase. And that was definitely the case with my One Wheel Pint. It was a very quick decision as to whether I was going to buy one of those. But in any case, the correlation is green is my favourite colour, and I wanted to rock that. I've also got a little bit of green throughout my colour scheme when I'm for my snowboard gear, not when I'm riding, but not my outerwear, sort of, but my I've got a green on a couple of my snowboards, and yeah, it'll go well. So Adam Searles is saying that yes, he's in Ontario. He's also saying that he's about to watch Saturday Night Live. Oh, I get it. You know, Saturday Night Live is a thing that, oddly enough, I grew up watching the comedians that came through Saturday Night Live and their movies, but I don't think I've ever watched one episode, not one, of Saturday Night Live, just because I don't think it definitely doesn't air on free to air here in Australia, and I think you can watch it. You just need to have satellite TV or pay TV, or I suppose you could stream it nowadays. But yeah, interesting fact that Saturday Night Live isn't a massive thing here in Australia. But he's saying that Owen Wilson is hosting. That'd be rad. In fact, I've just recently, because I'm a bit of a Marvel head, I've just recently watched the Assembled. It's like the making of the Loki series for the Marvel for Disney Plus, and it's really interesting. I really like that TV show. I like all the Marvel stuff. But no spoilers for Shang-Chi, because I have not been able to see it yet because I'm in lockdown, and literally the theaters I can't, unless I illegally like pirate the movie, which I don't want to do because I want to see it in the cinema. I have to wait for, I think, another week before the cinemas reopen and I can actually go see that. And I know that the Carnage movie came out like 2 days ago or something as well, and I'm already seeing lots and lots of like potential spoilers. Actually, I've already seen the end credit scene, which is mind blowing. Oh my god! And breakdown of that. So if you guys are into Marvel, you'll know what I'm talking about. And yes, as Adam Searles says, yes, that's why I made that comment, is that Owen Wilson plays Mobius in the Loki series and does an amazing job, actually. He's a very different character from what I'm used to, or what anyone would be used to from Owen Wilson. He usually plays like, you know, comedic roles, and it was a little bit more serious this time. I really like that. So Adam Bad Riders saying that we need to get Chuck a full green get up to ride in, like Kevin the Big Bird outfit and David Jones and his Elmo. I'd be down for that. I actually do have a green jacket, snowboard jacket, but it is like it's actually the very first snowboard jacket that I ever bought, and but it's back in the days when I had no idea about snowboard gear, and it's really massively insulated. I still have it, but I never wear it because it has to be, you know, I'd never be comfortable in it, even if it's really super ridiculously cold. I reckon I'd still be sweating. It's that insulated. So yeah, I'd be down. I need to just collect a few more articles, but to be honest, it's hard for me to justify a purchase of more outerwear because I have so much as it is that's still relatively new. So you probably won't be seeing too much in the way of a new jacket or pants combinations from Chuck in a while. You'll be seeing the Burton camo that you've seen this season. You'll be seeing the black Air Blaster jacket that I was wearing in Japan, and you'll see a variation of hoodies, probably most likely the black camo board archive hoodie, because I rode in that a few days this year and really liked it. So that's kind of the combinations. And I love the homeschool pants I have. I don't love the design, because one, you guys will probably notice, one leg is grey and the other leg is a different shade of grey, and that has always put me off a little bit. But the pants are really good. They've got heaps of deep pockets. They've got cargo pants pockets, and I hate the having to carry stuff. So it's advantage of having pockets where I can put my GoPro batteries and all the stuff that I need to carry on the mountain without having a bulky like backpack or something like that. I used to wear a backpack on the mountain, and it drives me insane. So although I've been thinking recently about bringing a backpack back into the repertoire, because inevitably when you go up on the mountain, there's at least for me, because I like to film my stuff. It's funny, I'll have at least 1 or 2 days every trip where I don't film anything, where I'm literally just going up there, well, I guess, as Casey would say, for the dream, and for the soul, and just doing turns, and it's so much, I have so much more fun riding when I'm not encumbered by having to carry a GoPro pole or carry all the gear with me. But at the same time, I kind of have a feeling of regret every day that I do that, because inevitably there'll be one run that was just so good, and one run that or something that will have happened that I wish I'd captured that memory. And so that's the balancing act that I'm always making, is, do I take my filming gear or do I not? Inevitably, what made that run so good was probably the fact that I was unencumbered by footage, by having to carry a camera. So I guess that I guess you can get around that by having multiple, more people on the trip, and you can share the filming responsibilities around. Swanee and I kind of did that this year, but Swanee took his camera up every day. So that's the other thing too. When you've got multiple people that all have cameras, you capture more, but it does come to a cost of your riding a little bit. So what's Adam saying? Yeah, Adam Sells is saying that he hasn't been able to make a lot of Elliot's live chats. Life is almost back to normal in Waterloo, and that he's been hanging out with his friends and going out on Fridays. That's awesome. Well, we're actually pretty close to that here in New South Wales. So I believe we're reaching in our state, the 70% is the magic number of people that have had double dose vaccinations. Once 70% of the population's got that, then we get a bunch of freedoms back. Not back to normal, but it'll be a big step forward. So that, they reckon, is going to happen within the next week or so. So hopefully by the next live stream, Chuck will be not under stay-at-home order conditions anymore. So that will be good. But and I'm already planning, my birthday is coming up, and there's a few people that and I've the Swanee and his twin brother, their birthday is within a week of mine, so we're planning on doing a combined birthday thing, which is hard to do when you've got stay-at-home orders and you can't have people over to your house, and you can't go to a restaurant or a bar or something like that. Bad Riders says he's thinking of naming his jet ski Mobius in honor of the... Yes. That's hilarious. Because if... so by that I know that you're also a fan of Marvel and have seen the Loki series, because there's a whole joke in that about how Mobius rides a jet ski. Or he's obsessed with riding jet skis, even though technically he thinks he never has, but in a previous life he did. Awesome show. Adam saying thanks for doing the live chat. You're welcome. I enjoy doing them. I really do. So even if there's only a couple of people in here, I'm gonna go for I'll probably always say I'm only going to go for 45 minutes, but it'll probably at least be an hour. We've been going 20 minutes so far, so we'll see how we go. And Adam's also saying, Adam Searles, that he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why his footage is a lot of... so what I'm talking about with, that struggle. Do you to film or not to film? You know, and I'll talk a bit more about that actually after I've read your comment. But that's actually why he uses a head cam so much, and he simply ride, and it's just along for the ride. Yeah, and you don't think about it like that as much. So try to get some selfie footage going this year. Yeah, you should. I'd recommend that because my and Adam's again saying that they're at 90%. Yeah, we've where are we at? I don't know the exact numbers, but that's what the target is. I know my state, as far as Australia is concerned, is leading the way. Probably because we had the biggest outbreak, but we also have the biggest population out of any state in Australia. So it's a pretty big achievement. Where Bad Riders is, his state is very, very close behind us. So I'd say they'll be fully opening not too long after we do. But yeah, in terms of filming on the mountain, I find that I do the same thing. I don't have a head mount because I tried the strap on the helmet and it just drove me. I did it one day and then I gave the strap to my friend Phil because it just drove me insane. I don't know. I know that Kevin, Snowboard Pro Camp, and TJ, they use that stretchy head mount that goes on the helmet, and I could not get the thing to stay in one spot. Every time when I reviewed the footage from the day, every run the camera was pointing a different way. A lot of the footage was unusable. It bounced around a lot. I had a couple of bails and the thing just went flying. So you know, that drove me nuts. And I don't like the idea of like sticking a mount to my helmet. And it's for not because I'm worried about it coming loose. I had on one of my older helmets a sticky mount, one of those GoPro sticky mounts, and it was solid. I was not worried. It was never going to ever leave that helmet. In fact, I think it's still on that helmet. That's the helmet that I gave to Phil. That thing was just, I reckon you'd break the helmet before the thing came off. So I wasn't worried about that, but I don't like the look of it sticking off the helmet, and you look a bit kooky, I think, when there's no camera on there. So, but I found that I actually use a mount, which I wonder if I've got it close, but I use a Mouthpiece Mount. And it's actually one that's designed, it looks like a big dummy, actually. It's not like some of the other, I know I've seen Buckhouse and a few others use the one with the two prongs that you go on. This one's actually like a mouth guard type thing that's got a GoPro. It looks a bit like a dummy, and it's got the GoPro mount on the end. And I find that gives me, in terms of point of view shots, like the best angle, because it's pretty much exactly in line with my eye line. And, you know, it's very easy for me to just spit it out and then adjust settings on the camera if I have to. Or when I come up to the lift, I can spit it out and just like throw it into my pocket and not have to worry about it too much. So I like to it's good to have a variety of different shots. Like most people know that I mostly prefer the selfie cam footage if I'm filming myself, and but it'd be good to switch between. In fact, I've started work on my next video from the last Perisher trip, and this was on a day when I decided to leave the GoPro pole, the stick in the car, and I just took the mouth mount for the day, and that allowed me to just literally I could focus more on my riding, because you're not holding like the stick out and it kind of putting your balance off a little bit. You can focus more on what you're doing, and the only issue with it is the sound is a little bit weird, because I get a lot of saliva going when I'm doing it, and when you watch the footage back every now and then, you'll hear this big where I'm like sucking the spit back into my mouth, which is kind of gross and disgusting, but the point of view shots look really good. So long story short on that topic, yeah, when you go up with the pole, like I don't usually film like every single run all day, and like if the battery dies halfway through a run, then I'll just turn it off. And if I don't want to do any more filming for the day, then I don't like having a backpack, so I'm just stuck like holding my pole in one hand for the rest of the day, which is annoying too. So if I had a backpack, I could throw it in the backpack, but then I don't like riding with a backpack. So do you do runs just for the soul? What I do is I alternate it. So one day, most of the trip I'll have my GoPro pole, my extendable selfie pole. A couple of days of the trip I'll just take the mouth mount, and so that I can just throw it in there, still get some clips and still take footage of the other people that I'm riding with. And every now and then I'm going to just not take any camera up, and hope that some of my friends also get some footage of me. So Swanee always takes his camera, so usually I dive into a couple of shots. And actually in the next video I had the mouth mount for the day, but I also El Stacker Adventures is in the house. G'day, man. Glad to have you here. We've spoken about the hat already, but I'll give you a recap in a minute. But yeah, I will be normally I've forgotten what I was talking about. Something about Swanee and filming. But I do. Oh, that's what I was saying. Is yeah, Swanee had his pole and his Hero 9, and I had the mouth mount this one day. And for a run, I said, "Oh, can I just take you?" I just literally like took his pole and then did a run through the trees, which you'll see in the next video, or not the next video on the channel, but the next video from that trip. All right. So I've been talking too long on that subject, so I need to catch up on some comments. Adam Bad Rider saying his lockdown gets lifted on the 26th of October. That's the day before my birthday, for those of you to note. And that is amazing. As for filming, Bad Rider says that he doesn't mind being the camera guy. That does not surprise me about you, Adam. And he's pretty comfortable riding with a pole and feel okay getting closer to people. Yeah, I'm getting better at filming other people, so it's something, and I think that comes down to your riding. The more comfortable you are just riding, the better you will be able to film others and get your settings right and get close enough to get a good shot. But it is challenging. It takes a lot of concentration. I've tried doing it with Swanee and Phil this season, which you will see when I edit the footage finally. But no, that's good. And Adam says that he's keen to get some 360 footage of Chuck riding. I can't wait. We would have done that this year had we been able to meet up, but we're going to have to wait until next year now. Adam also says, now who has some questions about the Hero 10? He's been building a script for a new review video. Awesome. I can't wait to see it. I think you're going to plan to do a comparison like the Hero 9 versus the Hero 10, and I would be interested in that. I saw Sean Oz put a video out yesterday or the day before about his Hero 10 and how he had to send it back because it had a glitch. It kept shutting off on him. So I hope you don't have that same problem, but I do eventually plan to buy a Hero 10, but I'm going to wait until it's cheaper. Don't buy GoPro. Well, I will not buy a GoPro when it first comes out, unless I can get a mega discount, which I did with my Hero 8. El Stacker says, yo! Adam Searles, he loves filming as well, and he's got big plans for the Wonder Years Volume 5. I love those. I love that whole series, those movies. That he may have some of his buddies joining him on the next Whistler trip. That would be epic. Yeah, a trip is always like so much better in so many ways when you've got a crew. I know I've done so many solo trips to the snow, and I've met up with people when I've been there, but to to have a crew and be staying like in the one accommodation, and it's just so much more fun. So Swanee, Phil, and myself, even though we all got sick the last time we went, it was we had a great time together. I wish I'd got Phil on the hill more on that trip. So Adam Searles is saying hello to El Stacker. El Stacker is saying that he loves the green hat. Yeah, so this, like I said, I think El Stacker, you have a need for bucket hats. Bucket hats are really, they're functional. So this is going to, there was a private message between El Stacker and myself, and on the group chat where I think he didn't know we were talking about bucket hats, and that he didn't know what a bucket hat was, and I posted a picture of me wearing a bucket hat, which actually, that picture I used for the thumbnail of this video. You'll notice that with my live stream videos that every now and then, like, it still says the Chuck Live on air thing, but every now and then the version of my face will change. And on this thumbnail, I believe I'm wearing a bucket hat from that photo that I took to show El Stacker what a bucket hat is. And it's very, very functional. But he definitely, El Stacker needs to have one. And I think we need to see about that. But yeah, this one, now I know that this is something that you and I have in common, El Stacker, is that I know that your favorite color, I know you love blue and green. Those are also my favorite colors, green being the one that I prefer. I've had this bucket hat for so long, and it's one for the Canberra Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders, but it's a rugby league team that's in the National Rugby League, which is our version of football here. And I've had this hat for many years. Okay. And El Stack is saying that he hasn't got to Adam's vids. I have been watching the baseball. I'm not really into baseball. It doesn't interest me really at all, but I'll still watch the videos, and I think you're doing a great job on the videos. Not going to lie, I'm really looking forward to your snowboarding videos, Adam. And the Wonder Years is going to be awesome. El Stacker Adventures says cannonball the like button. I don't know if I even liked my own video, but I don't think I can from the screen that I'm in. Anyway. El Stacker wants to know when my birthday is. It's the 27th of October. That's when the anniversary of my birth is. I don't even know. I can never remember how old I am. I know. Coglio Knows is in the chat. Hey, man. Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us. We're just chilling. It's, I believe it's, what is it, Saturday night or something in America. In Australia, it's Sunday afternoon, kind of just after lunch. So we're here. We're just chatting. People are having a good old chat with each other in the chat box, and I'm about 5 minutes behind the commentary. So I'm gonna get into that now. But how's everyone's day? Everyone put in what time it is, where you're watching from, what you're doing today and tonight, what are you up to tomorrow, how stoked are you for the respective season, who's stoked on, I know some of you are in the Northern Hemisphere, who's stoked on winter, and if you are in the Southern Hemisphere like me, who's stoked for the warmer weather. What are we going to do? Let's get some claims happening in the chat of what people are stoked on. El Stacker wants a Hero 10. You might just get one. And El Stacker loves filming, and he wants to film us too. Yeah, I do. Like I said, I do love filming, but I also need to have some time when I'm not holding the camera, because I find that that's when I get the most progression in my writing. There's some potatoes from Idaho. Thanks for that. We need more potatoes. There's always more potatoes. Oh, is someone going? Robert Fowler, stoked on seeing more snowboarding videos soon. Are you talking about from me? Because the video I'm working on right now will be a snowboarding vlog. So That'll be for you, bro. And Robert Fowler says that. Oh no, he's not going. It's good that you're still here, I think. Where was I? It's funny. People, I think, on the El Stacker live stream yesterday, El Stacker's brother Tim and his partner Erica were on the chat, and they were giving him shit about not reading all the comments in order, that he was like going all over the place. And it's easy to do because you want to, if someone new comes into the chat, then I want to acknowledge that they're here. So I'm keeping an eye on the bottom of the chat, but I'm also trying to not miss any comments. So I'm going like between up and down. Bad Riders is saying he hasn't had any glitches with his Hero 10. He's been using it quite a bit, and the media mod is the best thing he loves to use with it. I know you love your media mods. I don't feel I need one, but we'll see. I might change my mind when I get the 10. But that'll be a while. El Stacker says Phil vlogs? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, that's a question that I'll have to put to Phil. I know he has footage that he can create the Phil vlogs from. And for those who don't know, Phil is my buddy who kind of lives with me, kind of doesn't. He moved in with me about 6 months ago, and then he proceeded to get a girlfriend and has basically been at the girlfriend's house ever since, even though all of his stuff is still here. And then we went into lockdown. So there's a bit of a question mark over what is happening with Phil. But then again, knowing my mate Phil, there's always a question mark over what is happening with him. So regardless of what the situation is. So is Phil vlogs eventually going to happen? I make it my mission every time I see Phil to try and get that to happen, because he made like a small vlog of a barbecue day that we had here at my house, and it was amazing, and I want to see more of it, and I just love Phil to death. Coglio knows, says good on ya, and I don't know who. I think if he's talking to me, I'm not sure. El Stacker's talking about wondering if he can pull off the bucket hat. Dude, you can pull it off. I reckon if I can pull off the look, and I quite like the look. So they're functional as well. Like they keep the sun sort of off your head, and like I've got longish hair, but because I'm getting older, I'm also got the male pattern baldness happening, and I've got like on the back of my head, my melon, like this bald, ever increasing bald spot. And in the summertime, it absolutely gets nuked. So it's at all times like just red, and I've got to have a hat on it. El Stacker's saying he was slacking. He needs to walk the dog. You can walk the dog after the live stream. What time is it? It's 8:30 in Idaho. It's still early, man. You got plenty of time. I did look at the international timing when I looked at this. Unfortunately, like I can't do a live stream at a time that is suitable to all of the people who like to come to these chats. So like in Australia, it's Sunday afternoon, so likely, and actually most of my like Australian friends and viewership are already here in the chat. Or some of. There's actually a lot of people I know from Australia that watch my videos that don't come to these chats. But in any case, and in I know it's like Saturday evening in America, depending on what time zone you're in. So, but there's a whole bunch of people in like Europe that also like to attend my live streams. So. Unfortunately, it's like in the middle. It's like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something over in Europe, and there's a few over in London too. But El Stack is saying "Yo" to Coglio knows. I know Coglio is a long time supporter of. I see him in the comments of Casey Willax videos all the time. But El Stacker, you can pull off a bucket hat. I know you can. And you will. I'm not going to give you a choice in the matter. And that's all I'm going to say on that subject for now. Coglio Coglio knows, and he does know because his bucket hat's his fishing hat, and he won't fish without it. It's his lucky charm. Me too. I'm not much of a fisherman, but when I do go fishing, I'm wearing a bucket hat, 100% of the time. So El Stacker was watching the BSU football game in his college team. I assume that BSU stands for Boise State University. And they lost. Oh no. Best night of the week here. Coglio knows he's got the cool face. Sitting there, just sitting back going, yeah, it's the cool night. Yeah, Saturday night. Gotta love it. But or a chill Sunday afternoon if you're here in Australia. And we've got some weird timings going on because just overnight we just came into daylight saving time here. So it's weird in Australia because there's a couple of states that do daylight saving time, and there's one state, not mentioning any names, that refuses to do daylight saving, even though it's in the same time zone bracket. So there's an hour difference, even though we're in basically the same time zone, and it's confusing. 1:30 on Saturday, 3rd of the 10th, DST, says Bad Riders. El Stacker says he's overstoked for winter and he's so ready for it. Yeah, man. I'm stoked for your winter. I can't wait to see the videos. And you know what, El Stacker, we need to see some more. I know you've got videos from last winter. I'm pumping out more videos. That's been the one benefit of lockdown is I've been spending a lot of time indoors editing footage from my previous trips, and from my recent purchasing of a one wheel and riding that. But yeah, there's been more regular videos on my channel than ever before, and I'd like to try and keep that going. It'll probably slow down a bit when I get back to full-time working, but I'll still want to have a goal of getting at least one out a week. But this next week, I think there's a couple of small ones coming. Robert Fowler saying he's stoked on more snowboarding videos. I think I already read that comment. Yeah, Rob Fowler's also saying his heart's been broken so many times for snowboarding, and it's tough because we had a really awful. It wasn't an awful season. Actually, for snow, it was a really good season, but COVID unfortunately wrecked it for a lot of people. And I know Rob's up in Queensland, one of the states where just couldn't travel to where the snow is. So I feel for you, man. At least I know I got to do 2 trips this last season. I wanted to do a heap more, but I'm glad that I got at least some riding in. El Stacker is asking the poignant question. Japan videos? Question mark. I'll answer that by saying kind of yes. I've actually, there was a couple of videos that one that I edited ages ago. It wasn't a Japan video, but a couple of videos that I'd uploaded ages ago, almost a year ago now, actually over a year ago now. And for some reason I never made them public. So those are going to come out in the next week. And you'll notice one of them is going to be a video about my snowboard tuning setup. So the gear that I use to edge and wax my snowboards. And you're going to notice how long ago it was filmed by the length of my hair being way shorter. In fact, I don't think I've had a haircut since I filmed that video. But anyway, that's coming out this week. There is a video, it's pretty raw. It's literally just basically raw footage where Jose from Japan, where Jose Bautista filmed one of our last runs of the day and put the camera on me and followed me down a day at Annapuri. So it wasn't a powder day. So it's just groomers, but I'm gonna make that video public too. So you guys get to enjoy those when they come. And Coglio knows. What he knows is that he's very stoked for the season, that he's got stuff going on every season, from fishing to kayaking to wakeboarding and of course snowboarding. That's the way to do it. Like when it's like summer. During this lockdown period, I've been spending a lot of time inside. I've had a lot because it's not that I'm not allowed to go outside. Like there's like 5 reasons that I'm technically allowed to leave my house. Like if I need to get food or groceries, if I need to get medical attention, or I don't even know what all the reasons are, to be honest. But I am allowed to leave the house, and I have been like going around the streets on my one wheel and stuff. But it'll be good to actually be able to go outside. But in winter, I want to do as much snowboarding as possible, because our winter is very short here in Australia, because there's not a lot of snow, and our mountains are nowhere near as high altitude wise. So I think it's just a warmer place. So the snow doesn't hang around as long, but in summer, then you always want to be doing some kind of activity. So I've got my one wheel that I'm going to be riding a lot in the summer. I've been telling myself for 3 years now and psyching myself up to go surfing and to learn how to surf. And I bought a surfboard 2 years ago and went out a couple of times, and I need to do that again. So I still at this point have not caught a wave. So I need to do that. And what else? So I'll probably do a little bit of skateboarding. But yeah, you've got to have stuff that you can do in the summer, and probably just generally going to the beach and swimming. So I'm fortunate near me to have some awesome beaches, and there's a couple. I've got a little Suzuki Jimny 4-wheel drive, which there's places here where I can drive straight onto the beach and get out of the car and just run straight into the water, into the waves. So good. In fact, there is a video that I filmed like ages ago. I haven't edited it yet, where all the boys and I went down to the beach and had an awesome day, kicking the footy around. We got the skimboard out, and with varying results. That thing scares the hell out of me. There's so much. If you can do stuff that stokes you out like all year round, then that's literally the dream. That's what we're all trying to do. Fortunately, we've got to work too. Otherwise, the money doesn't come in. But I plan to, in the summertime, actually do a lot of stacking of money, of working. So that's part of it. And international travel may be possible. So whether it's going to be practical or not and whether I'm going to be able to afford it is another thing this summer. So El Slacking. Bad Rider says Phil and I have been messaging on Messenger, Chuck. Plans are underway. What? Hey? That's unbeknownst to me. I have no idea what you are talking about, but that excites me. Are you pulling my leg just now? You've been messaging Phil? I wonder if that's about there's so many things that could be. A next winter trip, a trip in summer. It could be about Phil vlogs. I hope it's about Phil vlogs. Oh, I need to know more about that now. You've got my interest piqued. I need to know what Phil's plans are. He keeps them from me. I've got no idea at any time what Phil's doing. And that's kind of part of the fun of being one of Phil's friends. El Stacker was saying, it's meat time, let's go. Yeah, that was part of one of the moments from Phil's vlog. He reckons he's going bald too. It doesn't look like it from the videos. Like I'm really thinning at the back, like at the back of the head. But actually the very back is the thickest hair I have, but just above on the top, That's where it's thinning out. And the sides, obviously, there's plenty going on. But El Stacker says that he's stoked that I'm dropping so many vids. I am too. I'm very proud of myself because I'm a huge procrastinator. I actually watched a TED Talk the other day on procrastination. It was hilarious and actually got me going with a couple of things that I needed to do, and I started. One project in particular that I've been putting off for so long. And those who are in here who are DWCP members may or may not already know what that is, but there's a bunch of, I'm doing a mail out at the moment in very small pieces. It's a big mail out though, bigger than I've ever done before. Robert Fowler says he's okay with not changing time. Yeah, that was a stab, not at you, but at your state. Queensland does not change for daylight savings. So it's an hour difference. And actually, I'd prefer it if it just stayed. I'm one of those people that very much dislikes daylight saving. It always puts you out every time that the time changes. You wouldn't think that 1 hour would be a huge difference, but it is. When you're used to getting up at a certain time, I don't know, it seems really inconvenient. El Stacker says long hair gang, hashtag. And it was so sad doing our last run in Japan. Yes, it was. I remember that. And I filmed that too. That's not the vid that's coming out, but actually I've got a massive pipeline of videos that I kind of want to make. I went on a deep dive through all of my, because every trip that I go on, snowboarding, I film like almost every day that I go up, and I've got all of this footage, like even from back in 2019 when I got made redundant from my job and I went and kind of lived in my van for 6 months. I've got so many footage from back then, and my plan is to go back and make all of those videos that I intended to make, even from 2 years ago now, but it'll probably be 3 years before anyone sees them. But I started a series which was called The Singles Line, and it's just a whole heap of just runs that I'm pretty proud of. So you can sit down and chill and put it on, and it'll be music and just chuck snowboarding, mostly selfie film or selfie pole stick, and that will basically, my plan is for that to end with so that's the first part of that series will end and also be the last video of the Japan trip. So the last run that I do in Japan, which is a top to bottom run that I did with El Stacker, I think. Here's El Stacker is walking the dog now. Adam Searle says it was sad, and it's a sign of how special that your trip was. The video evidence indicates that it puts fire in the soul to get back those good times. Yeah, like I said, I've got still plenty of memories and plenty of footage from that trip. I'm a bit worried that it's not the footage that I have. Not much of it really involves the YouTubers that were there. It's more about the trip with the group that I had. With El Stacker and Jose, with I guess my version of the twins with Swanee and Twinny and Phil. So there was and Jose's partner Ruby. Yeah, I'm eventually I am going to get those videos out. So what I want to do is I'm going to edit the footage I have from this last season, and then the footage from and I've got maybe 1 or 2 videos that I haven't edited from the 2020 season, and then I'm going to do the Japan videos. So we're probably, I don't know, a couple of months away from seeing those. So I'll probably be in the middle of your season when they start dropping. Oh, Robert says if I do a Japan video, he'll do one too. You can call me out on every live chat if I don't. I might just do that because I've got one ready to go. Literally, all I need to do is schedule the it's already uploaded. I just need to schedule it, and it's going to happen in the next week. So yeah, I've got a Japan video dropping. In that case, probably before next weekend, it'll drop. So I'm claiming it. Get your video done, Robert. I know we were messaging about that the other day. You got it, man. You just need to keep working through it. Adam Searles, I already read that comment. Coglio Knows says that he's also a gamer, and so lockdown hasn't hurt him much. Actually, Swanee, as we speak, is in another room playing video games right now. I don't really do video games. He loves the outdoor activity. I haven't done enough outdoor activities. In fact, probably tomorrow I'm going to spend the whole day. Actually, I believe we've got a couple of new people in the chat. Sorry, I'm not catching up with the chat quick enough. LH Cool Breeze, Lindsay, nice to have you here, man. Our windsurfing buddy from the east coast of America. And Adventurer Carlo. Good to have you here, Carlo. You have been... You've been like coming to all of my premieres and commenting on all of my videos. So thank you for the support, actually. I'm going to give Adventurer Carlo a special shout out for that. He's been putting a lot of interactions on my videos, so I'm stoked on that. Thank you very much. And I have been returning that favor as well. I've been watching all your videos. I haven't been to all of your live streams, though. Because it's usually at a time where I'm asleep or Bad Riders is saying Robert Fowler will hold you to that. December, Chuck, that's when you guys have international travel opening up. Yeah, I know. International travel is opening, but there's still a lot of other factors that are going to play into whether we're actually going to be able to travel anywhere. So one, is the price of flights going to go through the roof because of, supply and demand and fuel costs and all that? So how much are the plane tickets going to be? So we don't really know that yet. It will depend on the country that you're going to as well. So even though I may be able to leave New South Wales and leave Australia, I still need to be able to go to a country that will accept me, that will accept us, travellers from Australia, and it will depend on what process I have to go through. So if I have to go to a country and then quarantine for 14 days, then I'm not going to be able to afford that. And I'm not going to have somewhere to go where I can quarantine, maybe. It'll also depend on different countries are going to accept different, like if you're vaccinated, it will depend on if that country you're going into actually recognizes the vaccine that you've had. I've had the AstraZeneca vaccine, and I'm pretty sure that that's accepted in most countries, but where I'd want to be going. Has the country that I want to go to opened its borders yet? So, I think Japan's still probably going to be off the table. If a trip is to happen, most likely, that trip would be to the USA. Is what I'm thinking. So that's if a trip is going to happen, because I'm pretty sure that one of the easier countries for Aussies to get into will probably be America, and to get back from. So there's a few more complications and factors that I need to get through before that is an actual possibility. So don't hold me to that. But that's kind of what I'm thinking potentially could be a thing that happens. El Stacker Adventure saying that beach video could be a very heavy vid. Yeah, I don't know how heavy it'll be, but I'm pretty sure it'll give you a good idea of like what our local scene is about here, and when you visit eventually, what some of the things we could do is, because for sure, if you come over here, I'm taking you for a ride down to the beach. That's for sure. Onto the sand, you'll love it. And I'll even let you drive the car if you can drive stick shift. Can you drive a manual? So you need to be able to drive a manual, and you need to be able to deal with driving on the wrong side of the car or the other side of the car, because the steering wheel is different. It's on the right side here. Bad Rider's saying that his conversations with Phil is not messing around. It's legit. He's been seeking creative guidance. That makes me so excited. I love it. I love to hear it. El Stacker is saying, what is the beverage? Okay, so it's a bit boring today, and I haven't actually had a sip since I've been here. But literally just drinking water. Because it's not late night. If it was a late night live stream, you can guarantee there'd be probably some kind of alcoholic beverage going into my neck. But since it's out to chill Sunday afternoon, we're just on the waters today. Let's see. And the chat's just jumped. Need to find where I'm up to again. Robert Fowler saying he considers himself called out on this chat already. I did kind of call you out, but you did put the challenge out there. If I drop one, you'll drop one. But it's kind of not real. I know yours is going to be a decent edit, whereas mine is literally it's pretty much just raw footage that I've put a very minimal amount of color correction on, and I don't know if there's even any cuts in it. It's just literally just raw footage and me screaming at the camera at the end. So you get to see all the mistakes that in my form and technique when I'm writing that I usually cut out. But no one rides perfectly all the time. Everyone slips an edge or gets their body position wrong. Edge is too hard. These things happen to people. El Stacker is talking about the Aussie Twins. Yeah, we've got the I can't remember what nationality Narav and Yannick are, but yeah, there's the Aussie Twins, or the Dawson Twins, Swanee and Twinny, or Lachlan and Clayton if you know them by name. Carlo saying that you're welcome. I think Lindsay, where LH Cool Breeze, he had a comment that was good earlier. Did I miss it? He's saying that he lost his bucket hat windsurfing. Yeah, that's a real thing that could happen. Bucket hats, that's the only thing. How do they stay on the head? This one is actually quite small. It's actually not like cupped around my noggin. It's like sitting kind of on top. But the other thing about bucket hats is that you can get different versions of them. And this is one version that I have. Another one, which you will see in the thumbnail to this video, is this one. Now, this bucket hat is actually my my beach and surfing hat. So it's a proper rip curl one, and this is the Rolls Royce of bucket hats. There's plenty of, well, first of all, you can already see you've got a rope on the back, which I'm not sure what the function of that is, to be honest. You've got your Legionnaire's neck covering. So not only does it protect your head from the sun, but it drapes over the back of and your neck and protects your neck from getting nuked by the sun. On top of that, you've got a strap to keep it on your head while you're surfing. And I have tested this. I've had it in the surf, and I've been absolutely obliterated by waves, and this thing has stayed on my noggin. It slipped a little bit once or twice, but basically stayed on. And it's got like foam padding on the inside of it that you can take out, and there's a Velcro in here, and that's washable. You can't get a better hat than that one. Bucket hats for the win, the absolute W. El Stacker is saying, El Stacker Adventures. Oh yeah, actually that's a good question. Can you send me that TED Talk? I probably can, actually. If I go to here, because it wasn't that long ago that I watched it. Surely. How far back? Oh my God. It's funny when you look at your history on YouTube and you have watched an absolute, this is what happens in lockdown, that you've watched a ridiculous number of videos. I don't even know if I've gone past it or not. There it is. Yeah, how do I? How do I do this? Actually, I open that. There you go, El Stacker. That is the TED Talk that I watched on procrastination in the comments. And it talks about a thing called the Procrastination Monkey. Actually really hilarious, really well presented. It's not a very long video either. I think it only goes for like 10 minutes or something. And if you want to get motivated to do something, then I really recommend watching that. Adventurer Carlo is saying that is thanking me for the support on his videos. He appreciates it. Right back at you, man. It's Chuck Band time. Let's go. I don't know if that's a phrase that I'm going to be shouting anytime soon, but I love the I love that you're riffing on the variation. Dinner was good. Adam Searles is saying that he's looking forward to the upcoming season. And asking if I bought Crash Pants yet. I'm not sure if you're... Oh no, he's talking to Carlo, not to me. As I say, because have I bought Crash Pants yet? 100%, definitely. One thing that... Actually, I don't know if I've ever actually said this on air before, but when I'm snowboarding, 100% of the time I'm wearing Crash Pants. I have like a set of G-form ones that have the impact protector technology on the tailbone, on the sides of the hips. I'm always wearing them just in case I have a bad slam, and I think they do make a difference. if for nothing else, they give you more confidence. And now I'm just gonna, I know I've missed a couple of comments. I'm just gonna zip down to the bottom of the chat. All right. Adam Searles, big shout out to El Stacker for dropping the GoPro 4 on Carlo. Reminds me of when he did that a couple of years back to Sublime Honeybee. Geez, that's a name I haven't seen for a while. Is she still making videos? I'm gonna have to check that out. So I remember seeing her making some videos, and I think for some reason I feel like that's not new. I think I heard that story before, that she got a camera off someone, and I didn't realize that was you. What a nice guy, Adam Searles. And the Hero 4, like, it's old now, like it's like a lot in terms of, you know, the comparison between that and the Hero 10, for instance, like the new one that came out. Like, obviously it's not as advanced a camera, but the Hero 4 was, like, as far as the GoPro, like, action cameras go, was such a solid camera. Like, and I know of quite a few people that still have their Hero 4s and are still using them today, which is a huge shout out for that camera, because, you know, many, many years later, they're still working and not broken. And, you know, the sound, the only issue with that camera really is the sound quality. The microphones got improved tremendously in the future versions of the camera, and you've got to use the surround case if you're going to take it in the water. But other than that, like, man, who cares? You know, you've still got an action camera that can go underwater, that can do like so much stuff. You put on a selfie pole, you can still get some mad like snowboarding footage with that. You know, you can still buy aftermarket batteries for it. You know, the same sort of SD cards run in it. You know, there's nothing wrong with those cameras. So I reckon Carlo, I can't wait to see the videos that you make with that camera. I reckon they're going to be awesome. El Stacker's Adventures is making Adventurer Carlo jealous. He wishes he could drive. Adam Searles is saying to Carlo that he should pick up a gimbal to stabilize the footage while riding. It'll take the channel to the next level, not too expensive. Yeah, you can pick up gimbals these days because the stabilization technology, like, that's built into the newer cameras is just so mind-blowing. You don't even need gimbals with the newer ones. But yeah, if you have a gimbal, it's so super smooth footage. So that's a good call out. Coglio knows says the tan hat is the legit hat, and that's what he'd be wearing too. Yeah, yeah, rip curl. Like, it wasn't a cheap hat as far as like a bucket hat goes, but worth every penny. Adam Bad Riders saying, asking me if I've got any plans to get the Ninja out over summer. Yes. So if you don't know, in fact, I might need to talk to you about that. So for those of you who don't know, I own a couple of motorbikes. I'm not a very good rider, but and I only ride road bikes, and I only ride them around town. But I've got a Kawasaki Ninja 300, and I have a Honda CT110, and I love both of them, and it's been a while since I've been on either of them, I've got to say. But that is something that I reckon I will do in the summer, and I'll need to talk to you maybe about how I can mount cameras, because I know you do that a lot with your motorbikes. So I'll just put it out there. Would anyone in here watch footage of me riding a motorbike? So if so, I might see if I can make that happen somehow. Robert Fowler saying you can hear the scroll wheel getting a workout. Yeah, when I was trying to find the video. I'm pretty rough on the equipment though. It's probably the my scroll wheels cop a lot of punishment. So I'm always using them. In fact, I'm a big keyboard shortcut guy too. So you should see me editing videos in Premiere. I know so all of the shortcuts on the keyboard. Adventurer Carlo saying it's a good live stream. Thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm enjoying it too. I'm probably going to go for another 15 minutes. So we've been going for an hour and 15, another 15 minutes, and we're going to shut it down because at that time, I think I don't want everyone's brains to be fried, but also I'm getting hungry and I need to go out and get some lunch. It's nearly 2:15, although it would be 1:15 if daylight savings hadn't happened. But in any case, we've still got plenty of time, so let's keep the chat rolling because I reckon we've got some good subjects. And I'm just reading from below that link that I sent now in the comments. So if I've missed a comment, sorry. And if you want me to see it, just drop it in the chat box again. Adam Sells is saying if you get a $100 gimbal, it'll make it look crispy. Just needs stabilization. Yeah, I agree. Not that I've ever used a gimbal, but I've sort of have. There are some issues with them, but I know Adam has used them before and really likes them. Coglio Knows is talking about my comments on the crash pants earlier. Last few years, he's worn knee pads. Yeah, my buddy Phil wears knee pads when he rides as well. He's a beginner level snowboarder, but he's also built like a rake. And has broken his legs or broken one of his legs before. So he's a little bit, he wears knee pads and he used to wear shin guards as well, but I kind of convinced him that wasn't necessary. But I'm old, so it helps my legs score a full day on the slopes. You know what, man? Anything that helps you stay on the slopes, like in Elstacker's live stream yesterday, and I won't go into it too much, but as far as to say that sometimes you get people on the internet or just in life in general that feel like it's appropriate to, rag on other people's stoke. And the thing is, like, if you're stoked on something and, other people might think it's uncool, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters, the only thing is that you're having fun. As long as you're not hurting someone else and you're not detracting away from someone else's fun and stoke, go for it. Just go for it. And that's the key thing. Don't be, you may have a different opinion to someone else, but that doesn't mean you've got a right to bring them down, and tell them that what they're stoked on is wrong or anything. And by the same token, I'll tell you, I don't even know. I literally don't know how. It was my birthday in a month. I think I'm either turning 38 or 39. So I'm either way. I'm nearly 40, and I know that I'm a big guy too. Like I've never been the fittest or the most athletic person. And you know what? To have fun snowboarding or doing any other sport, you don't need to be. You just need to be stoked and to have a go and have fun, And anyway, that's a bit of a rant, but that's really the key message. If there's any one thing that I want to produce or have people take away from my videos and my content and my whole demeanor on life, is that it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter any of this stuff, as long as you're having fun. And don't be a dick to other people because they're just trying to have fun. If you're having fun, I'm having fun, and we can all get stoked together. That is the main thing. The golden rule will always be golden. Absolutely. I think I'm sure everyone in this chat can be picking up what I'm putting down on that one. But it doesn't matter. Like, I wear crash pants, not all of my opinions are popular. But they're my opinions. So, it is what it is. What works for me isn't going to work for everyone. Ventura Carlo was thinking about getting the Karma grip. Yeah, that's legit. The Karma grip works really well. It's probably if you're using it with a GoPro, which obviously you would be, it's like one of the best gimbals that you can get for the price. And if you can pick one up secondhand, I think I'm not sure if it works that way with the Hero 4, but if I remember correctly, I know that the gimbal, the Karma grip paired with the Hero 5 could also charge the GoPro, but other people, actually bad riders, would be able to answer that question. I don't know if that works, but I know that the gimbal has its own independent battery, and that secondhand you could probably pick one up at a reasonable price. What were the comments? Posty bike vlogs, yeah. So for those who don't know, the CT 110 Honda motorcycle is a posty bike, and I'm not sure, and I assume that is a posty bike's a thing in America. I don't know. Can someone tell me if you know what I'm talking about? But here in Australia, we have these tiny little 110cc motorcycles that are loaded up with big bags on the side, and that's what. And the people who deliver the mail from the post office are zipping around on these tiny little these little bikes, going from letterbox to letterbox and shoving all the things in. So that particular model of motorcycle that they use is the Honda CT 110, and I own one of them that was an ex post bike. So yeah, Adam Sells is saying no postie bikes in Canada, but yeah, in Australia it's a thing. Like they're starting to not be as prevalent. There's a lot more, particularly in cities and whatnot. There's a lot of like post. People that are either walking or on push bikes and stuff like that. But in regional areas in Australia, postie bikes. They're all whipping around on these little motorbikes. So that's good. I'm going to have to do a video showing you what these things look like and how they go. Because it doesn't operate exactly like a traditional motorbike, because it's got a centrifugal clutch. Which means that you don't have a clutch. You just you hit the selector with your foot and it just bangs it into gear. They're not very powerful. They don't go very fast, but they're so much fun to ride. And I think Adventurer Carlo is saying that he would watch the video of me on the bike, so that's good. The bucket hat time. It's bucket hat time. Now that I could get behind. Yo, it's bucket hat time. El Stacker wishes he could have given Carlo a Hero 10. I think we all wish we could have a Hero 10. Bad Riders has one. And El Stacker would like a motorbike. You'd like a lot of things. I know you were saying yesterday that you're really tossing up whether you want a one wheel or not. All I can say to that is do your research. They're super fun. But if I was you, I'd be getting on Craigslist or whatever. I don't know. We don't have that here, but we've got other, Facebook Marketplace or whatever other classifieds things that you have. And I would be looking to see how cheap you can get a secondhand XR one wheel if you really want one. They do hold their value pretty well, so you probably won't get one too much cheaper than a new one. That is the bigger one, and it is way more expensive to buy. And I don't regret having bought the pint, the smaller one, not at all. But I think that you'd probably be better suited to having that bigger one. And I probably will eventually buy the bigger one as well. But it's a really big investment. So Adam Searle says he has an igloo out back and a baby seal for a pet. For some reason, I'm feeling like that's not 100% accurate, that statement. El Stacker Adventures Surf Skate was a little crazy on your live stream. Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. Cogliano says that I'm closer to his age than expected. I only feel older these days after extreme activities. It definitely takes it out of you more the older you get. And he says he's dedicated to acting young until he dies. Not even his kids can keep up with him. Yeah, it's all about the energy. And if you want to be out there, then you can get out there. And a lot of people say that it's fun. I get that a lot. People think I'm younger than what I am, which I'm not arguing. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm stoked about that. And what's happening here? It's Chuck Van time. Let's go. That's El Stacker on the on the group chat. We've got some potatoes in the chat. So, what's everyone doing for the rest of the evening or the rest of the afternoon? I know Bad Riders is out doing some yard work, and he hasn't made a comment for a while, so he probably is still doing that. Robert Fowler says, "Don't forget to do some research up the Gold Coast, Chuck." Is that where you're based? Is it the Goldie or Brisbane? And so there's no postie bikes in Boise either. Okay. Oh, that gives me a video idea then. I'll have to do a video of me riding and show you what it looks like. Adventurer Carlo says he wants a grass snowboard. So such a thing kind of does exist. If you look up mountain board. So in fact, there's quite a big community of mountain boarders around, and it's a sport that's been around for longer than what I realized that it had. I actually own one, and it's kind of like if a snowboard and a longboard and a mountain bike were to have a threesome, that's what the love child would look like, is a mountain board. It's kind of like a longboard with a massive concave with a fair bit of like pop on it. It's got massive trucks and huge off-road wheels and bindings on it. So it's kind of a mountain board. Look it up. That's kind of what a grass snowboard is. They're pretty gnarly though. Pretty scary to ride, but definitely not quite like snowboarding, but would benefit your snowboarding. El Stacker Adventures, it's bucket hat time. Rob Fowler saying he's technically Gold Coast, but about halfway between. Oh yeah, righto. So you're north of the Goldie. I see. It's adventure time, says Carlo. Oh, so El Stacker Adventures, I think we're talking about one wheels here. He's saying that he hasn't found a used one yet. Well, that will tell you something in and of itself. There's when people get one wheel XRs, not many of them give them up once they have them. So And Robert Fowler is going out for a skate after he finishes cleaning up. And he's going to get some deep carves in. Yeah. I went for a ride on the one wheel yesterday because I had to get some envelopes. So I'm doing a mail out at the moment, and I didn't have enough envelopes. So I rode my one wheel all the way to the post office, and I took my GoPro with me. So, and I tested out a few different angles of filming the ride. So that video will probably, I'm actually doing a video of the whole mail out process. So you'll be able to see it as part of that. But yeah, I was quite surprised actually how quick and easy it was to get to the shops. It was a 4-kilometer ride, I think, each way. Was it? No, I think it was only 2 kilometers each way. It's not very far to the shops. And it took me like way less time than what I expected to get to the post office on the one wheel. And I actually did it like kind of in traffic. Mostly on the footpath, and I had a few comments. That's the one thing I'm noticing about riding a one wheel around is everybody that sees it, like it attracts attention, and people will ask questions about it. And every third person wants to have a go of it when they see it. They go, "Oh man, what's that?" El Stacker's saying he's 30. Dude, you're a young pup. But no, I remember I'm only a couple of years ahead of you. Coglio knows, saying that his favourite. So Rob, I hope you have a really good ride. I'm probably not. Actually, I may or may not go for a ride. I just this evening. I have not taken the one wheel out at night yet, and I just ordered and just received actually a really good torch. So I'm going to maybe test that out tonight, I think. So El Stack is saying he's 30 and he's feeling it. Work beats him up. Yeah. It takes it out of you. And actually snowboarding does too. Like, you know, you're at altitude, so there's less air up on the mountain, you know. And, you know, the board sports in general, like you think that you're just standing on something, but it's a lot more physical and takes a lot more effort and a lot more energy out of you than what you would think, or what people think anyway. Ventura Carlo, a live stream scheduled for tomorrow, and Surfskate was a little rude on the chat. He said yeah, okay. I'm not going to talk about that guy anymore. El Stacker Adventure says he's going to bed soon after this, and that he's going to turn into El Napper. El Napper. El Stacker says I dare you to ride the one wheel on the beach. It is capable of doing that, but to be honest, I probably won't. At least not initially, just because. I don't want to wreck it. So I don't want to get it anywhere near water at this point, or serious water, especially not salt water and sand. Even though I've seen other people like ride their one wheels on the beach and really close to the water, I'm not going to do that just yet. I won't rule it out eventually, but I can't be risking the amount of investment. I don't want to brick the BMS. Yeah, Rob Fowler always gets asked, because Rob Fowler rides an Evolve e-skate, and he always gets asked how fast and far that it can go. That's a really common question too. And in fact, everyone that my friends that have found that I've got a one wheel say, "Oh, how fast does that thing go?" It's not really about going fast. At least the one wheel isn't. And I know that your e-skate would go so much further and faster than what the one wheel does. But in any case, it's One Wheel Adventure time. Well, it's definitely bucket hat time. So we've been going for an hour and 34 minutes, and I'd like to thank everyone that has come to the chat. At the moment, there's 5 people watching. We've got 4 likes. If you wouldn't mind, and you haven't already, throwing a thumbs up on the chat, I'd really appreciate that. But I'll just run through. I know that we had Ventura Carlo was the first commenter, and actually the first commenter probably an hour after my that I scheduled this live stream, like last night. We've had Bad Riders, Rob Fowler's been in here. I know that LH Cool Breeze was here, Adam Searles. Shout out to just all of you legends. Coglio knows. Who else dropped in? Am I missing anyone? I don't think so. But you guys are all legends. I always have fun hanging out with you guys. And I will be, probably, I've got a couple of videos dropping this week. I don't know if I'll do a live stream next week, but if not, it'll definitely be the week after. Like I said, you guys are legends. I love doing these live chats. And as long as you guys are stoked on them and want me to keep doing them, then I'll keep doing them. Bad Riders is back. He's just finished the yard work in time for the finish. He said it's a great chat. Coglio has had his first kid at 30 and would rather be there again, though it feels like yesterday. The time just goes so quick, not only in life, but in these live streams. So I will say, be stoked, stay stoked, and do what you want to do. I will be seeing you, all of you, in a week or two, or maybe earlier. We'll see. In any case, and we'll be seeing hopefully a Japan video from Robert Fowler soon. But thank you for everyone for coming to the chat. It's really awkward always ending these things, but in any case, stay excellent, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.